Hello and welcome to Teach Me English. Today we have a topic, Aunt Jennifer's Tigers by Adrienne Rich. This particular poem is generally based on the evil of the patriarchal society. Let us now proceed further to know about the poet and the poem in detail. Adrienne Cecile Rich, she was an American poet, essayist, and the most important, she was a feminist. And you will be able to see this feminism very well in this poem. She was born in Baltimore, Maryland in the year 1929. Her parents were Helen Elizabeth Jones Rich, mother, and father Arnold Rice Rich. She attended Radcliffe College and she graduated in the year 1951. Her earliest, or maybe the first work, that is A Change of World, 1951. For this work, she won the Yale Younger Poets Award, and she had received many awards for her works. Her literary works run on the themes of women's role in society, racism, feminism, and the most important, that is the Vietnam War. During her era, the Vietnam War took place. Some of her works like Snapshots of Our Daughter-in-Law, Diving into the Wreck, Tonight No Poetry Will Serve, Arts of Possible Essays and Conversation. This is not a poem. This one is the non-fictional prose. She even received many awards, as I told you, that is Paul Engine Prize, the Lennon Lifetime Achievement Award, the Ruth Lilly Poetry Prize, the Leonard Marshall Poetry Prize, and the National Book Award. So Adrienne Cecile Rich was really a notable American poet. And above all, she was a feminist. She died in the year 2012 at the age of 82. We would now see the theme of this poem. The poem Aunt Jennifer's Tiger is run on the theme of what? The evil of the patriarchal society. Married women are dominated and overruled by men. Women are physically tortured, emotionally ruined, but they are mentally unconquered. This particular theme you will see in this poem. And this picture of the fierce and courageous tigers, which is embroidered by the meek and frightened aunt. This picture will display what the mental strength and hope of the aunt of all those depressed women on the face of the oppression and cruelty of the men's world. We would not decipher the same theme in the poem. No. Aunt Jennifer's tigers prance across a screen. So I have written here in green the meaning of those words which are underlined. Prance means to spring forward with the hind legs, and screen, that tapestry, that particular cloth on which aunt was embroidering. Now Aunt Jennifer, what was she doing? She was knitting the picture of tigers on a tapestry, and she was embroidering the picture of tigers on a tapestry. What is actually the tigers here? What is the motive of the tigers to be embroidered on the tapestry? Tigers are the symbolism of valor and pride, which she herself felt in her heart, which she was unable to reveal throughout her life. Prancing tigers, what it shows, what that activity of the tiger shows, the hidden courage in the heart of Aunt Jennifer. The poet has started the poem with the line, Aunt Jennifer's tigers prance, means they attack with their hind leg. They show the power, they show the courage, which is latent in the heart of Aunt Jennifer. Bright topaz denizens of a world of green. Topaz means yellowish, brown gems, and denizen means an inhabitant. So let us see what this line means now. So Aunt Jennifer, she weaves, she embroiders, she makes what? Tigers of yellowish brown color. And generally we know that tigers are of this color only, yellowish brown color, because their body is all yellow with brown stripes. That is the color of the topaz, which seems when she had already embroidered, so the picture of the tigers, it seems what? Bright and beautiful. These tigers are the inhabitants of jungles, that is the world of green. So the poet has used here metaphor in topaz. What metaphor is used here? See, the bright yellow color of topaz is compared to the fierce color and features of the tigers. That's why the poet has used the word topaz. The poet hasn't used the brown and the yellow color of the tigers. In symbolism, she had revealed what could be the feature of the tigers. Green color, it's an image of a jungle, but it symbolizes the time of prosperity. Means the latent courage, the hidden courage in the heart of Aunt Jennifer. It tries to prance out like the tiger. Where? Into the world of prosperity, where she dreams if she could gather the courage to fight against this oppression, to fight against this cruelty of the patriarchal society, she would be able to live a life of prosperity like the tigers in her tapestry. They do not fear the men beneath the tree. They mean the tigers are not afraid of men sitting under the tree. Whereas the aunt is afraid of her husband. The aunt means all the married women. They are afraid of their husband. But these tigers are not afraid of men. Tigers, they do not fear men. Rather, they attack and kill them. Here the tigers are, as I told you, are the symbolism of courage and pride that is latent in the heart of Aunt Jennifer. So she wants to reveal if that tiger, imagine if that tiger might have come out. So these men, those who are torturing her or any woman, these men would be afraid. These men would be frightened, and they won't be able to do such evil thing with other women. She lacks both to reveal in front of her husband. Lacks both means courage and pride. She is unable to reveal her courage and her pride in front of her husband, and therefore she weaves the picture of the tiger to reveal her courage. She cannot reveal herself, so she has taken the help of her art. With the help of her art, she here tries to reveal that hidden courage inside her. They pace in sleek, chivalric certainty. They pace means a manner of walk. You must have seen the tigers walking, how elegantly they walk. Sleek is smooth and glossy. Okay, so tigers, when they walk very smoothly, and definitely they have the topaz color of the body, so their body also shines. Chivalric means gallant and respectful, especially toward women. The line reveals that the tigers in the tapestry is smoothly moves in the gallant and respectful manner. What is used here? Irony is used in the line. How? Tigers are the animal of brute and savage nature. They're animal. They cannot behave like human being. But here, what happened? They are endowed with the chivalric nature, means the respectful nature, the gentleness, which the men lack in the eyes of the aunt, which the patriarchal society lacks. The animal, they have adopted the gentleness of human being, and men, they lack those gentleness and the gallant nature. She faced the dreadful and cruel attitude of her husband when she expected him to be gentle and loving. She had expected something else from her husband when she must have been married. But it was all proved wrong. She was tortured. She faced the cruelty of her husband. And in place of that, she found tigers to be more gentle, tigers to be elegant in their manner, on Jennifer's fingers fluttering through her wool. Fluttering means to be in a state of uncertainty or agitation here. This is the meaning, and wool here symbolizes innocence of ship. So, what is the line here actually trying to reveal? Aunt Jennifer is entwining, means embroidering the picture of tigers in the tapestry that we all know. Tapestry is made of wool. Drapery means tapestry. That is the panel of cloth on which Aunt Jennifer is embroidering the picture of the tigers. Here the word fluttering means movement in a disorder way. Means when she is making the picture of the tiger, embroidering the picture of the tiger, her fingers are not in a proper order. Her fingers are moving or trembling disorderly. Why? Due to the fear of uncle and the burden of a marital responsibility. After her marriage, all the chores of the house or all the household works are solely done and performed by aunt. She has become the beast of burden. She is tortured with all the household work shared by no one. So what happens here? She gathers courage to weave. The symbol of boldness and fearlessness is still with the fluttering innocent fingers. But she gathers courage to weave the picture of the tiger. Means to weave the pictures of her latent courage. So this is the image of Jesus Christ, who is both experienced tiger and innocent sheep. This is another meaning can be used here. Now, find even the ivory needle hard to pull. Aunt Jennifer becomes weak and fragile bearing the painful cruelty of her husband and the burden of her marriage. She becomes weak. She is unable even to pull the ivory needle, means which has no weight. Needle, you can understand. Needle has no weight. How thin it is. Aunt is so timid and fearful, so much afraid that it becomes hard even to pull the ivory needle. She is so much afraid of uncle. Her fingers are fluttering like the dying birds, which become the victim of the human cruelty. She is also fluttering like the birds. Therefore, this line symbolizes the state of slavery and helplessness of Aunt Jennifer. Find even the ivory needle hard to pull. She is under the slavery of her husband. And in fact, according to the poet, all the married women are under the slavery of their husbands. So here it reveals the theme of feminism in this form. The massive weight of uncle's wedding band. Aunt Jennifer, she wears the wedding band or rings that her husband, means uncle, had worn her during their marriage. Why? As a symbol of love and care. During the marriage, females are given the rings by their husband. So it is a token of love and care. This beautiful gift of love which the uncle had given her, what has it become? It has become massive burden for the aunt. Why? Due to the excessive exploitation which she faced after her marriage. Uncle has overused her. Uncle has never cared for her health, for her emotion, for her dignity and respect. So, for her, the token of affection has turned into the reason of affliction, pain. This token of affection, means love, has turned into the token of affliction, pain. It becomes massive. The wedding band ring becomes the band of slavery for Aunt Jennifer. It becomes massive, means she's unable to carry the burden anymore. If she gets opportunity, she would break that knot, she would break that ties of marriage, the knot of marriage. So Aunt Jennifer, who is always dependent on uncle, why? To receive his scold and hatred. She was at the time of marriage dependent on uncle for his love and care. But she received what? Only his scold and hatred. Here you can see also weight and wedding had alliteration. Sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. What sits? That rings. The wedding ring sits or fixes deeply upon Aunt Jennifer's fingers. What does it mean? So this line suggests that the family ordeals or the chores of the house, we can say, which she singly bears, have deeply rooted in her mind and life. The pain which she has faced in her life, that pain and that slavery is deeply rooted in her life and mind. She can never be able to free herself from the clutch of such slavery and burden of life. That's why that ring, which has become the token of slavery, like the band on the neck of the animals, which show that this particular animal belongs to the particular person, means they are no more free, they are slave of the person. Similarly, this particular band, this ring, is a token of slavery for Aunt. This ring means this burden. This ring means this burden would go with her and would disturb her even in the life hereafter. She will still be in fear even after her death. She would carry that burden with her because it sits heavily, it fixes in her fingers. When Aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie. The poet herself, means Adrienne Cecile Rich, she was also obsessed with the thought of marriage because she also faced some hellish thing in her life after her marriage. So Aunt Jennifer is dead, but her hand is trembling with fear still, is terrified. Her hand is still terrified. Why? And in the finger she has that ring. Terrified hand symbolizes the fear that Aunt has tolerated throughout her life, and she's carrying herself that fear to the life hereafter. She could never feel encouraged to fight for her freedom and spite on the face of the cruelty. Throughout her whole life, she could never gather courage to fight against her husband, to fight against the oppression and the cruelty which she faced. She, like a beast of burden, like a moron, she passively had borne all the oppression of her husband, all the cruelty of her husband. She became the silent victim of the patriarchal society. And there are still many women who are in the same condition. Still ringed with ordeals, painful or trying experience, she was mastered by. Aunt Jennifer has the ring of burden, that is in her finger, and slavery attached to her dead finger. That ring does not come out. It is attached to her finger. She is dead even. When she was alive, she was adept, expert in bearing the painful experience or trial of life. She had quietly borne all the pain of her life, all the torture of the uncle. She had never spoken a single word against the uncle. The ring in her finger shows that she died with the burden of slavery, and her desire to live a free and dignified life is not fulfilled even after her death, because after her death even, she is dependent on an uncle for her name. People would still call her, people will still remember her with the name of the uncle. So she is still, after her death, did not receive the dignified life. The tigers in the panel that she made will go on prancing, proud and unafraid. So the tigers in her tapestry, means the picture which she made, the picture which she embroidered in the tapestry, walk with dignity and courage. And it would go on throughout the whole life. Nobody would be there to make them afraid. Aunt Jennifer died, but her tiger means the Latin symbolism of courage and pride which she had in herself will prance and prowl among the men with self-esteem and valor. Her tiger means her courage in the form of the tiger would always be there for other women so that they would see, they would understand, and they would get courage to fight against the patriarchal society, against the torture which they are suffering, which they are bearing. The women, all the women, especially the married women, would get courage after this poem, and they would also fight for their justice. This is all about the poem on Jennifer's Tigers. In this poem, the prominent literary terms are two: alliteration and metaphor. Alliteration, we all know very well what it does. It reflects repetition into a more nearby words of initial consonant sounds only, no vowel, consonant sound. For example, here, chivalric certainty, cc, finger fluttering, f, fur, and prancing, proud, purpur. You'll find certain alliteration in the poem. Okay, 3 I have taken out, other you would try. Then we have a metaphor, which I have already explained. Metaphor is used here only with the bright topaz denizen, and I already explained what is the meaning of this. Therefore, watch the video carefully and read the PDF provided in the description box. If you still find any problem in understanding, comment me in the comment box. Till then, goodbye. Thank you very much.